Grammy-nominated rapper Nipsey Hussle was gunned down outside his L.A. clothing store today. Police say the 33-year-old was one of 3 people shot this afternoon. Fans gathered at the scene after hearing about the shooting on social media. They called him an inspiration, say he was active in his community.
I got stuff from the family already. I got stuff from both sides. I got stuff dealing with what's going on with whose hands are in it. That was a military-style hit that they did. 5 shots to the body, 1 to the head.
What seems to be a less talented rapper, had envy and hate in his eyes. That's what it was all about. It was nothing else. It was no motive. It was no beef. It was nothing. It was nothing but envy.
Chief called me on Sunday and told me that Nipsey Hussle had been assassinated and murdered.
3 security cameras pointing directly at the scene. Is this murder captured on video? Is he shooting on video?
Nothing is out. Thank you, guys.
Nip gets killed in his own store, in his own hood.
Remember the guy who killed Nipsey Hussle?
He's not a snitch.
When it came time to go, Nip called me. Nip was like, bro, you still got a contract. Execute the contract. You know what I'm saying? We never split. I still own publishing.
Well, he was still breathing and he was still alive when he left. When the paramedics came and took him off, he was still alive. So at the time, I just prayed for him and just told him to stay focused. All the stuff they do in the movies.
I was finished processing my son's assassination.
And if they down me, y'all better ride for me, man.
Yeah, look. Shit's crazy out here, bro. They say he died. But I'm just praying for the best. This shit ugly, bro. Real ugly out here. I'm not Nipsey Hussle, man. Yeah, I'm up here, bro. I ain't going nowhere until I find out what's going on with home. Yeah, that's what it sounded like. Oh, is that what they said? That shit don't make no sense. Nothing's confirmed. Until what?
Yeah, it's kind of just butt in here real fast, sir.
Well, I don't know what's confirmed right now, man.
No. And you behind the damn tape. Could you bring your ass back over here, miss?
I'm behind the tape, but I am with law enforcement. Don't ever forget that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They know who I am. If they don't, they better.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you know what's up, bro.
Wow, you hear that shit?
I'm on unofficial business, though. I don't want to take off.
She told me she's somebody from here.
It's a blessing. That's how I feel like a lot of hard work coming to fruition. You see the turnout, you know, it's all love out here. You walk in, you feel the brands. The technology is integrated, it's innovative, it's new. So I feel like it's a blessing. You know, shout out to my team. I'm excited about the potential of what could happen and where it can go.
Nip could have taken his money and opened up his store anywhere. But of course, you know, real recognized real, he chose to stay at the crib.
Ladies and gentlemen, the running on with Nipsey Hussle. Hey, so thank everybody for coming out. Y'all know how many years and damn near decades it's been in the making. You know, we started out this parking lot outside of the trunk as teenagers, when all of this was abandoned, when the gas station was abandoned, when there was all type of things going down on this corner that don't go down on this corner no more, because some people from over here changed the intention of what this corner was about. I don't take ownership unless we can do this shit ourselves. But thank y'all. Marathon Store.
Directly above the ever-growing memorial where Nipsey Hussle was killed are 3 security cameras pointing directly at the scene. Is this murder captured on video?
Is he shooting on video? No more, nothing is out. Thank you, guys.
And then he walked away.
There's cameras on every corner like never before. You can beat a nigga up, double back and see 10 cameras.
Just one last question on kind of the way it all transpired, it all went down. A lot of people online are asking about the cameras and security and things like that. Did the police capture more of the video footage than what we've been shown?
No, they didn't get any extra footage. As far as the cameras that we have in our stores or whatever, those are basically not recording. Those are basically cameras just for the employees. You know, it might be at home and you want to check in on the shop or whatever it may be. So it wasn't one of those things where, you know, where it was recorded like that, you know what I mean? So
I don't know, this video evidence is looking shady, but because I can't say that that's homeboy on the video just watching it. From the videos I've seen, maybe they got better police videos, but from the videos I seen, if I was his lawyer, I'd be like, prove to me that that's him.
Now, without getting into, you know, specifics of names of organizations, but you in the past said you had some sort of conflict with Nipsey, and you were able to kind of randomly bump into him right before he passed, and you had a positive interaction like the day or two before he passed. Just kind of where were you at, and how did you see him, and what was the interaction between you guys? This last, you know, just recently.
Man. Yeah, man.
Where were you at? Restaurant?
Yeah, we ended up running into each other at a restaurant on Slauson and Overhill, like right there where you from. But as far as a conflict, you know what I'm saying?
Well, let's just say
our neighborhood's always been at conflict since the beginning, right? But it was, you know, an incident way back that.
Let's just say involved the two of you personally?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but it was way back, but we didn't know it at the time. So we discovered it later on, you know what I'm saying? But the same day.
This was before he was
Just before he blew up as a rapper. You feel me? He probably like 18, 19 years old or something like that.
Nipsey definitely, at least at one point, was
yeah, man,
living.
He was really from over there. That's why I respect it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about a person being a motherfucking worst enemy nowadays, because I mean, nowadays when you look around, your worst enemy might be right in your household. I mean, perfect example. You know what I'm saying? So you can't think like that no more. You feel me? So, but
So when you guys saw each other in that restaurant that day, what was the vibe? What happened?
Really, I think the vibe was anointed by God. It had to be, you feel me? Because it went on 2 or 3 days before when I seen him, not even 24 hours before he got killed, you feel me? So I seen him Saturday evening. He got killed, what, Sunday? So
what did
we
you guys,
walked in.
Did you have much of a conversation? I saw you were exchanging a lot of texts.
Yeah, it was crazy. I woke up that morning, I think I woke up in like Manhattan Beach or something like that. And me and baby, we was smashing back. And I'm like, we was trying to get something to eat, you feel me? But we couldn't make up where we was about to eat at. So when you go into the jungles, once you hit Slauson and Overhill, once you pass Slauson, going up the, what's that, Overhill? You know, it's nothing right there, you feel me? So it's like either we gonna eat somewhere right here, or, you know what I'm saying? So we got right there to the light. And I'm like, man, fuck it, just go right here, you know what I'm saying? I said, I remember I had ate right here when I first got out the pen, like 2004 or something. So it ain't the one on the corner, it's the little hole in the wall right there, a little Mexican restaurant. So I walked in, or no, she walked in first, and I just seen her turn around and look like, you feel me? And I think I was looking at my phone or something and looked up, and I just seen him, you know what I'm saying? He was standing in the doorway, basically. So I had to like tap him to get past. And when I tapped him, you know, he turned around and it was like, what up, Nip? And he looked at me, you know, it was kind of like, we both did though, it was like, you know, like, damn, all right, you feel me? All right.
He was by himself.
Yeah, he was by himself, you know what I mean? But he had he told me in our conversation, like later on, that he was like, man, my daughter in the car, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, but he didn't have no security.
Nah, man, Nip a real nigga, man, you feel me? So, unless, I mean, there was some cats in the back, but I don't even think he was with them.
Yeah,
because I remember, they was way in the back parking lot, because I pulled back there first. And I seen some cats back there, and I was clowning. When I was clowning with baby, I'm like, oh, there they is. And she like, why would you park right here? And I'm like, man, I ain't tripping off that. I'm about to go in here, you know what I'm saying? So we ended up parking on the side, and we walked in. But nah, he wasn't with nobody. He was getting the little green machine, the little green drink or whatever. Yeah, but it's just crazy though, because when I walked in, he was like leaning on the counter. He was talking to somebody. When I tapped him, walked past, we both, you know what I'm saying, we looked, and it was like, what up, Nip? You feel me? I smiled like, what up, Nip? And he said, he nodded like, what up, bro? And when I got ready to walk off, he said, hey, excuse me. I turned around, he was like, hey, you firebug, huh? I said, yeah. He said, you from Cinderella Park? I said, yeah. And he said, yeah, bro, I respect you. That's the first thing he said. He said, I respect you, bro. And I told him, you know, I said, I respect you too. He said, nah, I've been following your campaign on IG. He said, but really, I've been hearing about you since I was a young nigga out here. He said, and your name always been 100. He said, and me and my niggas, we be paying attention just because we don't press the like buttons. Just know, you know what I'm saying? We salute it though. He said, I'm about demonstration. He said, I ain't got no more energy for nothing negative, but I'm with everything. And he said, I feel I'm a good judge of character and I know what I'm looking at. He said, and it ain't no secret what you was out here doing. He said, but that's why it makes me honored to deal with you, because I know what you're gonna do in times of, you feel me? And you already knew what time it was. So with that right there, it wasn't about how my homies felt. It wasn't about how his homies felt. Because if it was about their opinions and what mattered, then God would have put them in that same restaurant with us. You feel me? I was in there with the lady. He was in there with his daughter. So he put us in the most docile environment to see, you feel me? And it gets so deep, you know what I'm saying, that it get deep, you feel me? Like I said, we never, but we did, you know what I'm saying? And he told me two incidents that I never even remember. So that let me know right there, like,
oh, you guys went over all this right there in the restaurant.
Man, we talked about 40 minutes.
Wow.
He was standing there.
24, 36 hours before he crossed paths with Eric Goldberg.
Man, we was texting 9-something that night. That happened in the afternoon the next day, and he sent that tweet out. So obviously, everything we talked about was still on his mind to make him say having strong enemies is a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody went
up. Do you think that was possibly referring to you?
I know it was referring to me.
Oh, wow. So, when everybody was reading right in Aftermath, trying to figure out what happened, at first that was being written up like, oh, that meant there was some threat around them. But really, it was a positive thing of someone that technically is my enemy or used to be, has helped make me as strong as I am, and I bumped into one of them and we had a powerful conversation.
When I say it gets so deep, right?
It is deep.
When he told me about his song, he said, bro, bullets ain't got no name? I said, yeah. He said, I done seen it happen. We got cracking. 6 minutes later, they was right back at us. 10 minutes later, we was right back at them. I said, yeah. He said, bro, it's talking about you. You feel me? And it took me back, you feel me? Because it done been a situation where something happened and it led to about 5 shootings in one day. Back to back to back to back to back to back to back. And we took a strong casualty on one of those trips, you feel me?
We done had to be best friends because we was worse enemies. So that's a bond already. That's a bond already. Who gonna get who first? But the fact that I had a chance to get him first with the back turn, I did it, tapped him, and said, excuse me, turned around and it was that was already the
Yeah.
And he looked back, you got me. Yeah. Like, but from that moment,
that was it.
It was it. There was nothing else to talk about on that level. It was like, he already had a plan for me. And so now I look back at hindsight, he had a plan for me.
Let's get it. Hey, you gotta come to the locker room, my friend. We gonna fuck with you. Big Bob, we going to the Final Four, nigga. Yeah, motherfucker. Yeah.
like Bishop. You ever catch me slipping? All the caddy shooters plus the Maybach chauffeur driven. They killers to the left of me.
Hi, Joelle.
I've been pulling up in the drop tops with the baddest bitches. Young nigga been focused on my chick. Got a little coupe wrapped around my neck. Tryna put the water on my protect. I got killers to the left of me.
You know, I was with him the night before he got murdered at the Texas Tech game, you know.
I'll take the time off the clock here. Let your best player create something. Culver the drive, scoops it up and off, got his own miss and puts it back here. The lead is 4 for Texas. The lead is 4 for Texas.
Final 4, baby.
Somebody like myself and they say, can you manage me? Or can you help me? I don't think they understand how serious that is to someone that does it on the level that we do it on. You're asking me, can I love you like you're my child? You're asking me, can I put you in front, put your life and your needs and your wants in front of my own life, my own needs and my wants? You're basically asking me to adopt you and treat you as if you come before me, because every manager knows that the person that once you start managing somebody, their priorities and needs become before yours. So you're not just asking me to manage you and take you to the top. You're asking me to invest everything I have, every contact I have, every bit of knowledge I have in you, getting you to a certain place. And at some point in time, you might decide you don't want me no more. So at 3 years in, when we just about to get to the brink, you can decide, okay, I got enough of you, I'm off to the next person. Because that happens to a lot of people. So it's like, before you just approach somebody and ask them, can they manage you and shit, you got to really think about what the hell you asking them. You asking them to put me in front of you.
You know, it ain't really a good day to talk, but you know, it all started right here, man. And my man right here, me and Big U, got a CD and put it in the car, listened to the songs, the Slauson Boys. And the rest was history. When I took Nipsey around this whole industry, everybody was telling me I was crazy. He looked like Snoop Dogg, Rolling 60 Crib, Big U, and I told everybody, I don't give a fuck what you feel. I go with my gut, I believed in him from day one. It's 15 years ago now, everybody, you know, on it after the man worked his ass off. I was just with him yesterday at the Texas Tech game, man. We went to the game together yesterday. That's like my bro. And we went to the game together yesterday. That's like my bro. And, you know, people over there saying, you know, the white man killed him. I'm a white man. The white man put him in the game, so I don't understand that. You know, like, it's not a color thing. It's not a race, religion. I started the game with Run DMC. My man Jam Master Jay got shot in his own studio in his own hood by somebody that he probably knew. Nip gets killed in his own store, in his own hood. Nip gets killed in his own store, in his own hood, trying to help his own hood, in his own community. This shit is fucking whack, it's fucked up. I'm a seasoned veteran in the music industry a long time, and I started with Nip 15 years ago with Big U and my man Sean, and no one believed. It took 15 years to do this, man, and now someone takes his life. He's a father, man, he's a brother, he's a son, you know, it's fucked up. God bless Nip, I love you, man, rest in peace.
said he want that Benz, he want that Bentley, huh? Said he grinding cause that income ain't been steady, huh? They pushed him out all on his own, but he was ready, huh? He hit that corner with no choice, he had to run it up. Won't go sit around, be broke, he had to go add it up. Was in these streets scarred with the pain when they gotta tat it up. You gon' see a lot of fake love when you gon' level up. Switch sides on your kind, that's the way they set it up. Niggas blind, it's a shield on your eyes, nigga. Sell his soul for a piece of the pie, nigga. Malcolm X with the steel on my side, nigga. By any means, chasing M's to survive, nigga. I've been popping out for something new. I've been coming with it. I've been running routes, whoever knew. I've become the realest. Hey, got it locked down with the streets, saying nigga word of mouth. We the main ones that they heard about, what you worried about.
Somebody always coming into my DM on some motherfucking dumb shit about that Nipsey Hussle stuff and the day he died. I done heard so much shit. It's a video of me on YouTube with my picture talking about I was the getaway driver. Like, y'all motherfucking be sounding stupid as fuck on my granny. Like, y'all talking about some shit that y'all don't know nothing about. This some LA shit, like politics that y'all don't know nothing about. Y'all not from LA. Y'all speaking on shit y'all don't know about. Like, I'm tired of people coming in my DM on that bullshit. Like, y'all really pissing me off on God in heaven. And the next motherfucker that come in my DM and say that shit, bitch, if you out here, we gonna have a real motherfucking problem, bitch. On my soul.
Hey, what you seen?
I ain't see nothing. I walked away. We just bought a shirt and walked away, and then all of a sudden somebody said there was gunshots, and then I come back, there's fucking cops everywhere. We couldn't get it back inside. Yeah. And I was like, out of all people, they hit him.
Yeah, out of all people.
They were hit Nipsey. He was hanging out at the time. They were all hanging out right there.
In the parking lot.
In the parking lot. He had to be hanging out in the parking lot.
In this parking lot, posted up right here.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
Were you there at the Marathon Clothing Store on March 31st?
Yes.
Okay. And when you were there, why were you at the store?
I was at the barber shop next door to it, actually, and I walked in there to buy a hoodie. I bought like 2 hoodies from the store, and when I came out, everything went down.
Wow. So, like, you and Nipsey took a picture. After that picture, how long did it take for dude to come through and do what he did?
Probably like 3 minutes after.
Great, Dave. So, like, were you standing around the area when it went down? Were you close enough to...
Yeah, I was on some of the store surveillance footage. They got I've seen some videos on YouTube of it. 2 correctional officers showed me in the other jail I was in. But I was on some of the surveillance footage. I was out there for an acting audition.
Okay.
That's why I was in LA in the first place.
Okay, so you're an actor. Okay, that's what's up. So after the shooting, where did you go?
I jumped in the car. Well, I didn't really stay around to see that because, I mean, it was kind of like graphic. I didn't want to stay there just looking at a dead body. But me and my friend left the scene, and we flew back to New York the next day. I went back to my hotel. I was staying downtown LA.
Okay, what kind of car were you driving?
A BMW convertible.
Was it white?
White one.
The white one?
Yep.
Okay, because people...
Car in front of, it was in front of Monster Burger. I parked in front of Monster Burger. That's in that plaza.
Yeah, okay, because people were saying that they saw that white car and they saw somebody in it. So was that your friend that was in that car with you?
Yes, I have his number, his name for confirmation if you want to talk to him also.
Okay.
He's a friend of mine.
Okay, we can set that up for sure. So what was Eric Holder and Nipsey talking about? Did you see all that?
I mean, when I was in the barbershop, I seen Nipsey got a Benz, like a little miniature Jeep, like a little SUV.
Mm-hmm.
And his brother has a Jaguar, so I seen the SUV pull up, and I figured that was Nipsey. So when he hopped out and the kid was talking, and it was, I believe it was, I don't know the kid's real name. You saying it's Eric Holder, they're saying?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
He's like the kid that shot him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was him and some other Spanish kids standing there, and it looked like a heated conversation, because when I walked up to try to get a picture at first, I heard Nipsey tell him, you can't even be here right now. Like, he's not supposed to be here right now. So I kind of backed up because I seen it was like a heated conversation, so it wasn't really the time to ask for pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Once I went into Monster Burger to get a sandwich, went back into the Marathon store, came back out, the kid was gone. The Eric Holder kid, I guess. He dipped around the corner, like where Monster Burger is, that little cut alleyway.
Mm-hmm.
He dipped off, and when I seen everybody else taking pictures with him, that's when I sat in my car for him, and I asked him, I said, yo, Nipsey, man, I'm out here for audition, for the BMF audition with 50 Cent. You mind if I take a picture with you? I'm from New York. He said, yeah, no problem, come out. And we took the last picture. 2 minutes after that, the kid came back around the corner. I passed right by him, and I felt like something was going wrong, but I didn't really pinpoint it. And I seen him pull out and start hitting him.
Okay, wow, okay. So, did you see more than one gun?
Nah, I seen one gun that the kid was holding, but there was another guy there, like an old man. I think it's the old guy that, there's a video Nipsey has on the internet where, I guess that old man he helped, like he lets him clean up the plaza and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Like an old timer. Yeah, he was there at the scene. He pulled down and tried to hit the kid.
Oh.
Him from shooting Nipsey, and that's the other guy that got shot on the scene.
Okay.
The old man.
Okay.
On the floor.
See, that's not the same guy. That's Kerry Lathan. That's another dude that people really don't know about.
He randomly got hit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know his name or nothing like that. Like I said, I don't know nobody from out there like that.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't know who Nipsey was.
So let's get into the fact where you fit in. A lot of people are saying that you got arrested pertaining to a gun that was in a DVD case at an airport, at JFK Airport. Is that true?
Not at all. I flew into Albany Airport when I came back to New York. I wouldn't even fly out from JFK or New York Airport, LaGuardia. I didn't fly out from none of those. I flew out from Albany.
Okay.
Upstate New York.
Okay. When you flew back from California, you weren't using...
To Albany, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't fly back to downstate New York at all. None of the boroughs. I was upstate New York.
And so the reason why you're in jail has nothing to do with a gun in a DVD case at all?
Not at all. I had no gun charge, but I don't know where this charge came from. Like, I'm thinking, you know, some people think conspiracy shit and all that. I don't know what this had relation to that, but once I came back to New York, I was accused of having something that I didn't even have. I was still packing up getting ready on my flight when they saying that they found this stuff in my house. People are saying this video saying I was related in the murder. I don't know nobody from LA at all. Like, everybody running names and saying Kid Flashy and all this stuff on my Instagram. Cause I took the last picture with the guy. I mean, I didn't know the dude on a personal level. I was a fan of his music, but I didn't know him personally like that.
Mm-hmm.
So for them to just say that I had something to do with it, and some people said I handed the kid the gun, all this other stupid shit. I don't even know that kid. I
So you grew up playing in this park?
I grew up in this park all my life, yeah. I played baseball here, football here. Me, Cuzzy, Kerry, Keita Rock, all of us played here.
Who do I have on the phone right now?
Kerry Lathan.
How you doing, Kerry?
I'm the one that got shot with Nipsey.
Exactly. Really just a tragedy overall. Okay, so you get out into the free world again, and this was around, what, 7 months ago, I guess?
Yeah, 7 months ago.
Just so people understand kind of the full story of what happened, what did you originally get convicted of, and what year was that?
My original conviction
Yeah.
was murder.
Once you're out in the system, how are you, kind of reacclimating into society and sort of getting back on your feet?
Well, I was letting people give me money and help me and show me which way is the right way. Like Eugene Henley. He gave me some money. He said, look, man, it's going to take a little while, but you back. So just take it one day at a time. I said, okay. He said, don't let it overwhelm you. Just take it one day at a time. We were raised up together, me and Eugene.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all might know him as Big U.
Yeah, who's actually on the phone right now, who helped set up this phone call.
Right. Man, I think he's the one that discovered Nipsey.
Yeah, he was. He first signed Nipsey, and we actually went into that whole story.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you know of Nipsey before, while you were locked up before, or any of that sort?
No, he was a kid, as a child. He probably was 8 years old or 7 when I got locked up.
Right. So you had no affiliation with him at all?
At all. Not at all.
At all. Got it.
Somebody gave me a couple of pictures, say, hey, that's the new rapper. I said, is that right? Yeah. So when I got out, I took a selfie with him. He's a celebrity. Everybody's taking selfies. Let me take one. That's on my phone in front of the Marathon store.
Okay. So the day of the incident, can you describe what happened exactly?
Me and my nephew were going up the street to console somebody else's parents because they just lost their parents. So he said, you don't have to keep wearing that shirt. I was like, what? He said, this shirt. I said, it's clean. He said, look, it's dingy. You in the new world. You're not in prison no more. You can pull right. He said, matter of fact, they go Nipsey in a lot, so you could pull right in and grab you a fresh white shirt. I'm like, okay. So when I go in there, they didn't have the white ones that I wanted. And I said, when y'all going to get that in again? He said, well, they go Nipsey in a lot. Go talk to him. And I talked to him. He said, that'll be about a week, bro. I said, okay. And when I said it, it was all bad. The gunman turned around the car and shot me, then shot Nipsey. And then shot my nephew. I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, what the hell? But I fell on my stomach. And all I could see was people's feet. I couldn't see nothing else.
Okay. So the whole shooting happened. You get hit, your nephew gets hit.
In less than 3 seconds, 3 minutes. I was only if you replay the scenario and see when the black Escalade van truck pulled up, that's us in the black truck. It all happened in less than 3 minutes.
Okay. Because I guess this is why I kind of want to clarify this with you on the phone. Like, the story that was circulating was that you and Nipsey knew each other and he was meeting you down there to give you some clothes and you guys had some sort of prior relationship. But what you're saying is that you had no idea, you guys didn't know each other at all. You just showed up and you ran into each other randomly.
No, I know him because I took a few pictures with him.
Right.
Like that. But so the parole officer was like, well, you have gang affiliation. I said, look, man, I know Nipsey about as much as I know you. You my parole officer. I met you. We've talked a few times. That's as far as I know him.
Yeah.
Now, when I first came home, Nipsey heard that I was home, and he filled up my little sister's backseat of her car with clothing for me. So I had clothes to wear. I was out 7 months before this happened.
Okay. So the shooting happened, and the gunman leaves. How badly did you get injured yourself?
I got hit in close to the spine, and
wow.
They said it chipped a part of my pelvis. So it's very difficult for me to walk. So I was there a couple of days, and the parole officer came and said, oh, this is the one that's over me. I said, okay. So the one that was over him talked to me and interviewed me and stuff, and he left. So they came back again 2 days later with a third parole officer. I'm like, what's going on now? They said, well, we gotta take you into custody. I said, for what? He said, it's over our pay grade. It ain't us. It's up over it's higher than us. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, it's like parole board. I said, yeah. Okay, well, let's go. If I gotta go, I gotta go. But I was in a meeting when they took me out of the meeting at the place. I'm like, okay. So they take me to my room. They take my chain off, and they take the money that Big U gave me. So they said, okay. I said, I'll just leave it here until I come back. He said, yeah. Well, you might come back. You might not. You could come back tomorrow. I said, well, I don't need to carry it if I'm coming back tomorrow. He said, all right. So when I get here, they said, well, you're here for parole violation. I said, for what? Well, coming into contact with a known gang member. I said, man, I ain't coming into contact with nobody. I was visiting some people, going to pay respects to a person's father who just passed away. My buddy, Ronnie. His father just died that Sunday. So that's all I was doing. And I was just going to change my shirt so I could look presentable in front of their people. That's it. And when I stopped over there with Nip, I got shot. And they violated my parole on that. Because first they said, we didn't see you did nothing wrong. Nobody said you did nothing wrong.
No, his parole hasn't been actually violated yet. He has to go to a hearing. They can't just violate it, so it's a process. So that's what we're trying to prevent him from violating his parole. He hasn't actually been violated yet.
Well, that's actually better news than what's being presented. I mean, everything out there is saying that you actually violated parole and you're not going back to prison. Like, at least there's still a process that's left.
Yeah, it's still a process. There's still a process right now, so that's why we hollered at two attorneys right now, and we're trying to raise money for him to have some money when he come home, because now but the fact that he's in a wheelchair and he's been shot, he's not gonna be able to do no work. He can barely walk, and over the last couple of days, he losing the use of his legs. Like, tell him about the swelling in your legs.
Yeah, my left leg, off where your knee is down to your ankle, is swelling up and it's getting numb. And I'm like, it's probably because that bullet hit a nerve or something. Because my foot, I can't even hardly feel my foot, like when your foot go to sleep. But that's how my whole left side feel right now, where the bullet went in. And that's kind of bad.
How many times did you actually get shot?
Once.
Sorry.
But when they hit me, it put me on the ground. You know, I couldn't get up. I could feel my legs, but I couldn't get up. And without your pelvis, you can't move or do nothing.
Now, how's your nephew doing, by the way?
He's okay. The bullet hit his belt buckle. So I said, that's God all day. You know, he was like, nigga, my uncle, he dead. I said, look, man, I'm not dead. Calm down. Are you all right? And he said, the bullet hit my belt buckle and there it go on the ground. I said, okay, well, I'm cool. You all right? He said, just grazed him a little bit. I said, all right, that's cool. You know, we all right. I said, but Nip ain't.
Yeah. I mean, pretty amazing story about the belt buckle, though, I got to say.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in the very worst case, if they violate your parole, what's going to happen?
They're going to have me do life again for coming in contact with a gang member, a known gang member. And he was a community activist. He's going to see the police chief the next day.
So you could potentially go back to prison for life for stopping by and getting a T-shirt.
Yeah. For violating parole.
You were doing at the store that day?
Buying a shirt because I was going to address someone who just lost their father.
How do you feel about how complex this all is? With you serving your time, getting out, and still being technically treated like a criminal, and you being technically a victim. LAPD has said you were being treated as a victim, but you've kind of got, it's messy though, because you do have affiliations. He had affiliations. Like, how do you feel about how blurred this line has gotten?
Well,
with you technically legally violating parole, but then technically not because you were there for a shirt. It's complicated. How are you feeling about that?
Well, real shook up.
Like, meaning you were there to shop.
That's it.
And now you've been dragged into all of this.
Chaos. Straight chaos. You know? So sometimes I know and sometimes I don't know. As I stated before, people live with beliefs, assumptions, and opinions, but they never deal with facts. Facts don't lie, people do. And we do a poor job at it because we'll take a belief and try to force it into a fact. It don't work.
Especially for Kerry and Lauren, how do you think Nipsey Hussle schedule's meeting with the LAPD the following Monday after the shooting played a role in you getting Kerry released?
Well, I think that there has been a lot of attention on the bridging the gap between local law enforcement and the inner city.
When you went to the Marathon store, did you have any fears that something could happen as far as being around gang members?
No.
How about fear that somebody might attack Nipsey Hussle?
No.
Your counsel referred to the injustice you've done to you. Can you, in your words, describe the injustice you feel has been done to you?
Well, injustice is, that's what it means. It's just us. Everybody has done some wrong in their life. No one is perfect. But after you serve your time and you learn better and you do better, you still jeered at and poked at, that's him, that's him, that's him right there. That's him what? The guy that got off punishment? That's how it is.
The injustice was that correction should not have taken you back into custody.
No, I didn't do anything. I'm a victim.
You didn't know that Nipsey Hussle would talk about being involved in rolling 60s.
I didn't have no. They say that's the end thing. Take a selfie.
And I think it's also important to note that, and we talked about this a little bit already, that he had no idea that Nipsey would be at the store that day. So I know there were initially some reports that he was there to propose business to Nipsey, or that it was a set-up meeting, and that it was by chance that Nipsey was at the store that day.
Yep.
Well, it wasn't by chance. I mean, you were meeting him there.
No.
So that's inaccurate?
That's inaccurate.
Have you met Nipsey prior, and have he ever given you any clothing prior?
Well, he gave me some clothing through one of my sisters. I had never met him.
I'm about to wrap up here, but I need to, because now I'm confused. Because to my knowledge, on and off air, you did know him. You knew, this wasn't your first time meeting him that day.
It wasn't.
You all were past friends, or you knew each other. He wasn't a stranger. I met him. He didn't give me a free shirt. So, I mean, you had to have known him to get that free. This wasn't like a fan situation.
No. As I stated before, when I first came home, they heard I was home. So I needed clothes and all that. And he just filled up my little sister's back seat. You know, she said, he's going to appreciate this. I hadn't met him. She said, this came from Nipsey. I still hadn't met him. I said, tell him thank you. She said, you can tell him thank you when you see him at the store one day. I said, okay.
Yeah, and there were, I believe, they had.
I was out 7 months.
Right, I was about to. I need a timeline then, because if it's been reported and this is the first time we hear, I need a time. You were out 7 months. Can we get that clarified?
Yeah, so I can run through it. So he had been out 7 months. Prior to the shooting, Nipsey had donated clothing to Mr. Lathan's sister, gave her a car full of clothing, and I believe that Mr. Lathan and Nipsey had run into each other maybe twice before this.
In custody or
no, not in custody.
No, in passing.
In passing.
On streets, after I see my granddaughter, I go up the hill.
While you were out.
Right.
And the content of those conversations was really, I believe Nipsey was asking him, what helped you while you were in custody, turn your life around, and what documentation did you use, books, literature, and so they had really discussed primarily how can we help the youth who are currently incarcerated or mixed up in gang life, how can we help prevent that and help those that are in it get out of it.
So you knew him from just being around and him just being the person he was. He always talked to people.
Yeah.
I've seen it. And he knew your sister.
Yeah.
And he saw your sister that day, donated clothes.
Right.
And so when he knew you were coming back to that store that day.
No, he didn't know I was coming back to that store.
Okay, so that's completely false.
It is.
Okay.
Because when I went to the hospital after the ordeal, I seen somewhere on TMZ they were saying I said, that's inaccurate. That's not right.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
and
said,
that was
where
one
did
of
they
the
get
things,
that from?
And that was one of the things that was raised at the hearing is that I think that Mr. Lathan was probably arrested based on some of the facts that were reported that weren't true. The fact that they were being called friends, that wasn't accurate. And then also, I don't think it was reported anywhere that this was a happenstance meeting, that Mr. Lathan was near the Marathon store, needed a white shirt. He was going to pay his respects and condolences to a family friend who had just lost his father.
Wait, who was?
Mr. Lathan was going to visit a family
Got
friend who had just had a death in the family, and they stopped by the store, and Nipsey happened to be there at that time.
So the dialogue of the story from okay, so you were just in the area. So now we still don't know, which obviously you can't answer, but I'm just trying to clarify. Now back to square one. We don't know why he was at the Marathon store then, because that was what we thought.
Yeah.
He was at the Marathon store helping out a friend.
Yeah,
so this has changed the entire dialogue.
and Mr. Lathan's not in a position to say why he was there.
But you were there just getting a shirt, either from the Marathon or the other store next to it, right? The one where they sell the white shirts and what. Got it. Okay.
I have a last question. Okay. I'm sure you won't be able to answer. The female getaway driver.
Yeah, we have
any comment on her?
No.
I have a question. Do you think that you saw anything suspicious that was going on prior to the shooting? Nipsey had tweeted 30 minutes prior to the shooting that he tweeted, having strong enemies is a blessing.
Yeah, we have no information on that, and even if we did, we wouldn't be able to comment on it.
That day that happened to Nip, you guys got to understand. His children was there. There were cameras to talk to him about some other stuff, coming. Shitty just came at the wrong time. Like, he was just basically like, I cannot do this right now, and get off my lot. And he said what he said, but he said it because, and then here come Kerry. He wasn't even supposed to be there. And I'm going to tell you about Kerry. He called me that day. I was supposed to drive him. He called my nephew, Snook. I went on to work. He called Snook. He tricked Snook and said, take me to my homeboy. His mom passed away, and I want to go pay my respects. In the mix, he said, stop by Slauson and Crenshaw. And that's why he got shot. He was never supposed to be there. Because Kerry already had a stroke. He had a stroke before he even got shot. So you need to take that into consideration, that his mind he couldn't even hardly walk from the stroke that he had in prison. So Kerry was already sick. So it's kind of like normal for him to forget stuff. He even forgets words. He had problems standing up. He had problems sitting down. He literally had to roll to stand up from the couch that was in my house. He couldn't sit there. I literally had to give him a chair.
Then what's up with
If you
Sherry's
think
magic
that
belt
it was
buckle?
mobility, he had no mobility problems. I'm gonna let you go ahead and think that, because all I can do is tell the truth.
specific times that I was there. I just know for sure that I was not there whenever Nipsey was there. I can't even say that. I can just tell you that I know for a fact that I didn't get to meet him, because if I had, I definitely would have snagged a picture or whatever, you know, like, I mean, to me, it was just, I mean, you know, the feeling of being anywhere near something that a celebrity made, let alone to see that celebrity, you would hope you do see him. And so we're in there, you know, we lollygagging, like, hoping to see him, and we didn't see him. Like, I didn't even get to see anybody.
So you didn't get to see him, so also at the same time, you guys at some point left, right?
Yes, we left. I bought a lighter. I mean, let's be honest, his T-shirts and all his merchandise is starting at $100 or more.
Okay.
And, I mean, if you're on vacation somewhere, you're not going to spend $100 on one T-shirt. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I didn't have the money to buy a T-shirt at the time, so I got a lighter. And, I mean, I got a lighter strap. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I put it in there.
Right.
And once my friend, she bought a CD and a shirt, and she left. You know, we left. We got in the car and we was gone.
So when you guys left, nothing had occurred, and Nipsey wasn't even there, right?
No, nothing happened. Like I said, I think I've seen a post where they said, you know, how did she know that his employees were cool? Like, I knew that because I was in there earlier shopping. Like, I'm looking around, I'm taking videos, everything in the store was cool. You know, the guy's showing us how to, you know, you put the camera up to the shirts or the CDs and they start playing a video. We looking at all of that, you know, like any tour.
Yeah, so they were being just typical employees then, like they would do for everybody else.
Yeah, so like, I mean, you come to the store, of course, you're going to be professional and greet your clients,
Exactly.
you know, like, there was nothing out of the ordinary that I saw or anything going on, you know what I'm saying? Like, we was just in there shopping, and we left.
So when you got to wherever you guys were going, how long was it before you guys maybe found out or heard about it?
I can't really say. We were long gone by then. Like, we were at a mall and headed to go to dinner, and we heard that, or my friend actually pulled her phone out to do something else, and she looked down, and she, you know, you pull your phone out to do one thing and you do something else, and she got on social media and just so happened to be on one of the blog sites that there had just been a shooting at the Marathon store.
Well,
and so, you know, we're all in the mall, and we all kind of just stopped in our tracks and kind of just sit where we're at, like.
So is that the reason what you meant? Wow, that could have been us?
Yes.
Wow, see,
like,
that's amazing.
You know, like, I didn't mean it in any other context but the fact that I came on vacation and you know, if I had stayed any longer, like, I wouldn't be returning home to my children. So I don't like that these people are trying to put it out there to make it anything else, because, I mean, I don't know how they would handle the situation, but I was shook up, and I still am. So, and this is not helping the situation anymore.
So did you guys go back up after you heard about the shooting?
Yes, sir. Again, we're so far away. By the time we come back, there's so much going on. It's just like it's too much going on. So we parked and we walked back. So we had to walk almost 2 miles up the road to get back to where I was standing at in my life.
Wow, so that's how you got back there. You guys came back to see what took place.
Yes, sir. Like I said, I don't appreciate these people trying to chop and screw my video to make it seem like that, because all the answers that they're asking for was answered in that live. There was nothing going on when I left. Like, I mean, I got in my car and left. You know, I'm a tourist. I'm on to the next stop.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, I nothing. So I'm not understanding where all of this comes from. I had to walk 2 miles there and 2 miles back just to even see anything.
Yeah. You guys left. Do you have any idea what time you left there? Time-wise, California time.
I would say about 2.
Okay, you left there too.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It was about between 1:30 and 2 that we left the property.
What are y'all talking about? Oh! All right, cowboy. What are y'all talking about? Oh! All right, cowboy.
You held him as he took some of his last breaths. Why do you think Eric showed so much rage towards Nip? He came back and he shot him again. He came back and he kicked him.
I don't know. I hadn't had a chance to really look at those tapes or whatever, but by the time I left Nipsey, I walked around the counter, got to the break room. So by the time I walked and made it to the break room, I heard some gunshots. Man, as I'm running out, you hear some more gunshots. When I hit the door and run out, I see Nip on the ground, and I see this fool cutting through the alley. You know what I mean? So, you know, like I said, I don't know why that split second I had left. You know, people scrutinizing that I said I was gone 3 seconds. You know, it felt like I was only gone 3 seconds. You know, I had just left his side. You know, like I said, I wish I was there. I wish I could have took a bullet or whatever, but I can't. You know, it was God's will. You know, because it got done. It's like no matter how I replay it in my mind, know how hurt the team is. You know, the whole team is hurt that we were supposed to be there to protect Cuz. You know, these motherfuckers is scrutinizing that I should have did this. I wish to God I could have been on his side. I know it definitely been a different outcome. You know.
You say you shook hands with Eric Holder minutes before he shot Nip. Why do you think he did it?
I mean, it just seemed like envy, hate, or whatever it may be, jealousy. You know, like I said, you know, it seemed like that was his go out with a bang. Now, you know, now the world gonna know you as that. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's the only thing I could see. You know what I mean? He was a weirdo, been gone, didn't nobody, you know, nobody. He was just a reject. You know what I mean? Never could make the final cut, whatever it may be. You know, instead of looking at Nip's success and feeling like, yeah, I could do it, he got jealous. You know what I mean? And his jealousy, whatever it may be. So now he in jail. You know, when they sentence him to wherever he gotta go, I got one request that they change his middle name to Dick, so his name would be Eric Dick Holder from here on out.
That part.
So when he go to jail, they can say Eric Dick Holder. So yeah, that's his new name from here on out. So yeah, go to jail and do what you gotta do or whatever.
How does it make you feel to hear some of the ridiculous rumors and accusations online?
You know, I've been hearing through the fans, people up here. I really hadn't had a chance to really like look at everything or whatever. You know, I peeked it a couple times. You know, just really, I'm still mourning my homeboy. You know, for me to acknowledge that dumb shit, the foolishness that's giving it fuel. You know, if you know what you're doing is right, I ain't got nothing to prove to nobody. You know, my homeboy gone, so regardless of what you think, it ain't gonna bring him back or whatever it may be. So, you know, I don't even acknowledge the weirdo stuff.
Now, when this whole thing, it kind of took a turn into conspiracy world, right? And so everyone wants to come up with their online conspiracies and what have you. Do you feel that there's something deeper happening on a conspiracy level as far as someone paying Shitty Cuz to do it?
I mean, you know, I honestly don't think nothing like that. Nobody benefits. Who benefits from them not being here? You know, it ain't like some type of big major record label type shit. It's a mom and pop operation. It's the team. It's the family. So nobody gains from them not being here. Said nobody benefits from this. You know, all I can see is that this weirdo dude just trying to make a name for himself and go out with a bang or whatever it may be. That's all I can see. Cause I mean, if you got some money, you gonna do your job and try to at least get away. You feel me? If you got paid to do it, you got paid to get caught. What the fuck? Come on with it. It don't make no sense. Like I said, it was just a senseless act of jealousy. Nigga probably high, tweaking. I don't know what the fuck. I wrecked my brain trying to figure it out, and I replay it over and over, wishing I could have done something different. And like I said, I talked to my grandma. My grandma, she said it just wasn't meant for you. She like, wasn't meant for me to be there, or whatever it may be. So, like I said, I never actually saw Cuz shooting my nigga not one time. Like I said, I got to the break room, I heard the shots, start running out there. I heard some more shots, and I seen Cuz leaving, and I ran straight to them. So as far as looking at videotapes, they'll slow some shit down, make it seem like the niggas in the parking lot, the niggas chilling forever, but. Like I said, everything happened in a short amount of time, amount of seconds. Just unfortunate.
So I'm Daymond Johnson, and I'm a neighborhood council member in South Central. Business owner, and lived here forever, all my life.
A lot of people just want to know who you were and what you were doing down there so early. How did you get the call that Nipsey Hussle had been assassinated, sir?
So here's the first thing, and I keep hearing all these things that it was 9 o'clock. That's not true. It was a little bit after 1 when everyone started gathering there.
So it was a little bit after 1 when everybody started gathering there.
Yes.
Do you know what time the alleged assassination happened?
No, I have no idea when that happened. So I can run down my Sunday morning.
Run down your Sunday.
Sunday morning, I get a call from a friend of mine working at a church on 49th and San. Asked me to come give him a hand. So I went over to the church, gave him a hand. The bishop of the church got hungry. He gave me some change to go to Doolin's on Crenshaw and get lunch. I ran over to Doolin's, stand in line for about 45 minutes. The food gets ready, and I say, okay, I need some gas. So I drive to Slauson and Western.
Go ahead.
To the Shell gas station there, and I put gas in my car. So at any rate, I'm coming out of the Shell gas station. All of a sudden, paramedics are coming out from everywhere. So I had to stop, and I couldn't actually go out onto Crenshaw. The train going down Crenshaw, so you have to only make a right.
Okay.
So something tells me to come around the block, so I go around the block, and I pull back on the side. The paramedics have the street block where you can't come back east on Slauson. So I park across the street, and then I'm walking over, but by that the police are there, and they're starting to rope off the area. I still don't know what's happening. So then a lady comes out and she's yelling and screaming, "Oh, they shot Nipsey! Oh, Nipsey shot!" And so I'm like, "What? Nipsey shot?" The scene got packed real fast. So it's like word went out, of course, because it's Nipsey Hussle. And so I'm standing there, and all these different individual private media started showing up, and all the folks start showing up. And so the guy asked me if I wanted to be interviewed, and I said yeah. And so you guys all seen the interview, or should seen the interview. Mm-hmm. So at any rate, the food never gets back to the church. So the pastor never got his food right then and there, but it was still in the car. Okay. So folks start showing up and trying to find out what's happening. The nation was actually the first folks on once I got there. The first folks who were showing up. No interventionists had gotten there yet, but a few brothers from the nation had showed up. Right. And a couple people from the mayor's crisis response team started showing up. Not part of any of that. Again, I'm just my tie within the city is I'm a neighborhood councilman. Well, actually, again, I didn't get a call to show up there. That was weird to me. You know, there for a crime scene, what was weird for me is I didn't see blood. I didn't see any signs. There was people walking all through the crime scene, and I'm like, how is this a crime scene if you have people walking through this evidence? There was something weird involved in this whole situation. Just living in the community, there's definitely something weird part of this situation. For instance, they've only wanted to use the tape from the Shell station. And that's the tape they went all over the world using.
Right.
And I was actually standing in the parking lot of the gas station when the two detectives went by and they went inside the gas station to get the tape. And so I'm asking, like, we have businesses right there on each corner. Why is that the only video that was relevant to this case? And why they didn't use any footage from the burger stand through the alley and the guy ran through the alley. They didn't use any footage there. And right across the street, you have the check cashing and the Louisiana chicken, but there was none of their footage used.
And stuff like that. What
also
do you
had officers on roofs across the street. So they were on the roof across the street.
Wait, what were officers doing on the roof across the street?
Exactly. But it appeared that they were recording. Everyone is focused on the scene. But if you look across the street, it's very noticeable. There was officers on the roof across the street. They put cell phone blockers on because no one could get signals in or out. And we know as a neighborhood council person, I know that they try to control the scene and what goes in and out by turning off blockers. There were several times I was going live, and there were several times I was knocked off. Nipsey Hussle's uncle was there. And he was saying how this is a setup, and Nipsey should have stayed independent, and ever since he signed some deal with somebody, now all this stuff is happening. But what I can tell you all is that the LAPD had filed a nuisance, what we call a nuisance abatement on that property. And what they were citing was that it was gang members who were allowed to hang there, and there was fights, and they were scaring off community members. So that was their reason for placing it in a nuisance abatement status. When you look a little deeper, what happens with nuisance abatement? If nuisance abatement is granted as nuisance abatement, that allows the city to obtain the property. What happens is they give the property owner a specific amount of conditions that they have to comply with. Those conditions are their fines, and then they can go to court and they can actually take a property that poses a danger to the community.
How did you feel that day you got the news?
That was my kid, bro. I loved him like a son.
How did you feel that day you got the news? Or did you know, or how did it get to you?
We was going to the Gunna concert. Gunna had a show right here in I want to say it was Orange County, Long Beach, something like that. And we was all together. It might have been about 20 of us. Me, Bear Claw, Fat Mac, Board, me, Fat Mac, Board, all the Board brother. It was about 15 of us, and we was all on. We had just left 4th Avenue in my Sprinter, and we was like 5 cars. We went over to 6th Avenue, and we was finna get in a Sprinter and all drive to OSBS was gonna open up for Gunna, and then we was sitting on 6th Ave, and everybody's phone started ringing. And then Bear Claw said, man, they said it was a shooting up there at a Nip shop. So we ain't thinking that. We like, anybody there? They said, no, I ain't said yet. Because what niggas don't get, this is what the world is funny that the world don't understand, is it's almost a shooting at Nip shop at least once a month when the homies getting shot. But you gotta be from over here to know that. So about 15 minutes later, all my phones is going off. I got like 3 phones. They just start going off. Nip got hit, Nip got hit. So now we all calling. So now everybody in a panic. We all like, Nip got hit. So now we immediately, everybody, but we clogged in the goddamn car. So I jump out of the car with them and jump in the Sprinter that's in the front, and we rolling up there. We got to go, we got to go get shaped up, and then we pull up to the thing, and I'm seeing, like, we pull up in the Slauson, we pull up in the gas station, the Shell, and I see these 3 ambulances. I walk up to one of them, I see Cousin Kerry nephew in the car, and I'm like, man, what happened? He just tell me, and the police told us right then. It was just like, you get hit in the chest real hard.
Yeah.
And then the other dude was like, man, it looked real bad. And when the police was like, it don't look good, they just didn't want to pronounce him here. And I'm like, man, you sure? And he was like, man, I seen it. And I'm like, it was almost like, you know what I'm saying? You want to just be strong, but you like, damn.
Nip said in a rhyme, which is one of my favorite songs too, Tonight Is My Night. I really love that song, Tonight Is My Night. He said, cops hate and they hope my homies kill me. Yeah. Now, we know the fucking police was on his heels at the fucking store. You know what I'm saying? And they try to get him out. They try to go to the property owner, tell him like, hey, get these niggas, these jigaboos, hey, get them out of there, kick them out. And the dude actually sold them the whole fucking property. So that's gonna make police even more mad. I told you to get these niggas out of here. You gonna fucking sell them the whole fucking property? You know what I mean? And I would, again, you can always tell me, hey, just leave that out. And you got my word. I don't know, man. It's a conflict with me, man. Could it have been that bitch nigga shitty, or was all this shit orchestrated, man? So, that I really wasn't gonna go there, but I don't know, man. I just feel real.
I mean, honestly, bro, your guess is as good as mine, man. I'm not even, to be honest, I never was one to be intertwined all into where I'm listening to the he says and rumors and she says. Honestly, I still can't really put a finger on it. I don't got a clue if it was orchestrated, whatever the case may be. The police behind it, the homies, I really don't know. I really don't know. That's my honest answer for that. I don't think it was random. Let's say that. I don't think it was just a spur of the moment situation. No, I don't.
That nigga don't do that shit.
I don't. I think it was something or somebody behind it. But like I say, who knows? I don't know. Think about it every day still, to this day. And I don't got a clue. I just know it was fucked up.